Good day and God bless everyone. We are the Group 1 and our topic is Constructivism. So what is Constructivism? Constructivism is the theory that says learners construct knowledge rather than just passively take in information. So learners preferred to experience the situation or the problem rather than just get it to the teacher, because having an or experiencing the problem or the situation, learners will easily can construct or can build knowledge about that, and they can form it to their schema. The next one is assimilation. Assimilation refers to the process of taking information and fitting it into an existing schema. For example, is your existing schema is you saw or you used cell phone for the very first time, and then the next day you see a gadget that look like a cell phone, which is iPad, and then you use it, and then you realize that it's not a cell phone. Then that's when that is assimilation. You were fitting the existing schema through to your present situation right now. Then that's how the accommodation entered, because accommodation refers on using newly acquired information to revise and develop an existing schema. So the accommodation, it is to change your existing schema because you realize it's not the you realize that you're using right now the iPad is not the it's not a cell phone. So accommodation, it is to help you to revise or to change your existing schema.
God bless everyone. I am Ana Rose Basmayor, the second speaker, and I'm going to report the history of constructivism. The psychological roots of constructivism began with the developmental work of Jean Piaget, 1896-1980, who developed a theory, the theory of genetic epistemology, that analogized the development of the mind to evolutionary biological development and highlighted the adaptive function of cognition. Piaget proposed 4 stages in human development: the sensor-motor stage, the pro-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage. For Piaget, the development of human intellect proceeds through adaptation and organization. Earlier education philosophies did not place much value on what would become constructivist ideas. Children's play and exploration were seen as aimless and of vital importance. Jean Piaget did not agree with these traditional views. He saw play as an important and necessary part of a student's cognitive development and provide scientific evidence for his views. Today, constructivist theories are influential throughout the formal and informal learning sectors. So, example, constructivist learning in a non-formal setting is the Investigate Center of the Natural History Museum in London. One of the example na siya. Let's proceed to the characteristics of constructivist learning. So there are 18 characteristics of constructivist learning. So ubay-ubay jud. So first is the multiple perspectives and representations of concepts and content are presented and encouraged. Second, goals and objectives are derived by the student or in negotiation with a teacher or system. Third, teachers serve in the role of guides, monitors, coaches, tutors, and facilitators. Fourth, activities, opportunities, tools, and environments are provided to encourage metacognition, self-analysis, regulation, reflection, and awareness. Fifth, the student plays a central role in meditating and controlling learning. Sixth, learning situations, environments, skills, content, and tasks are relevant, realistic, and authentic and represent the natural complexities of the real world. 7. Primary sources of data are used in order to ensure authenticity and real-world complexity. 8. Knowledge construction and not reproduction is emphasized. 9. This construction takes place in individual context and through social negotiation, collaboration, and experiences. 10. The learner's previous knowledge, constructions, beliefs, and attitudes are considered in the knowledge construction process. 11. Problem solving, high order thinking skills, and deep understanding are emphasized. 12. Errors provides the opportunity for insight into students' previous knowledge and constructions. 13. Exploration is a favored approach in order to encourage students to seek knowledge independently and to manage deep pursuit of their goals. 14. Learners are provided with the opportunity for apprenticeship learning in which there is an increasing complexity of tasks, skills, and knowledge acquisition. 15. Knowledge complexity is reflected in an emphasis on conceptual interrelatedness and interdisciplinary learning. So, number 16. Collaborative and appropriative learning are favored in order to expose the learner to alternative viewpoints. So, second to the last, page 17. Scaffolding is facilitated to help students perform just beyond the limits of their ability. And the last one is 18. Assessment is authentic and interwoven with teaching.
God bless everyone. So I am Regine Manais, the reporter of this assigned topic, which is the constructivist learning and its difference from traditional approaches of learning. So, the traditional classroom. A traditional classroom is where a teacher moderates and regulates the flow of information and knowledge, where the students are expected to continue developing their knowledge of a subject outside of school through homework and exercises. So in traditional classroom, we have begins with parts of the whole emphasizes basic skills. Second one is the strict adherence to fixed curriculum. The third one is the textbooks and workbooks are used, and the instructor gives and the student will receive. So we have the constructivism classroom. So what is constructivism classroom? So it is based on the idea that people activity construct or make their own knowledge, and that the reality is determined by your experiences. Then, as a learner, basically that the learners will use their previous knowledge, or that this you have your stock knowledge, you will use that as a foundation and build on it with new things that they learn. So we have begins with a whole expanding to part, pursuits of student questions interest, primary source, manipulative materials are used. Learning is interaction building on what students already know. So, instructor assumes a directive and authoritative rule in while instructor interacts, negotiates with the students. So, assessment via testing or correct answer, while the constructivism classroom is assessment via students' works, observations, points of view, tasks, process is an important as a product, and the knowledge is inert. The knowledge is dynamic, changes with experiences, and the students worked individually, while the constructivism in classroom is the students work in a group. If the traditional classroom where the students were work individually, while constructivism classroom is the students or the learners will work together. So constructivism is an instructional strategy. So constructivism involves collaboration between instructors, students, and others, community members. It is tailored to needs and purposes of individual learners. Through this approach, lifelong learning takes place.
The teacher's role in constructivist learning approach is the role of the teacher is to in constructivist classroom is to organize information around big ideas that engages the students' interest, to assess student in developing new insight, and to connect them with their previous learning. So the teacher's role in the constructivist classroom is to organize and to give a lecture to the students that engages the students' interest and and provide information through big ideas that can help students develop new knowledge and connect them to what they have learned in the past or to their previous learning. And also is to give lecture to the students, but to act as an expert learner who can guide student into adapting cognitive strategies such as self-testing, articulating understanding, asking probing question, and reflection. So self-testing is the process that you trying yourself to recall what you have learned in your previous topic without looking back into your book or notes. And articulating understanding is the conversion of knowledge from individuals. In asking probing question are to clarify a point or help you to understand the root of the problem and the reflection is where the students describe their learning on how it might be related to future learning experiences, where the position of the students is to develop or make a reflection by their own knowledge about their experience based on what they have learned in the classroom, and to give student opportunity to share their opinion or knowledge and experience, and help student to continue what they have learned in the classroom by existing ideas on the basic materials like activities that present in the classroom and the event that will happen inside the classroom or outside the classroom.
Implications of constructivism for teaching and learning. So Jonas in 1994 summarizes what he refers to as the implications of constructivism for instructional design. So these are the following principles illustrate how knowledge construction can be facilitated. So number one is to provide multiple representations of reality. And second is to represent the natural complexity of the real world. Focuses on knowledge construction, not reproduction. Present authentic tasks like contextualizing rather than abstracting instruction. Provide real-world case-based learning environments rather than predetermined instructional sequences. Then foster reflective practice, enable context and content-dependent knowledge construction, support collaborative construction of knowledge through social negotiation. So by Jonathan in 1994, he summarizes for him that implications of constructivism is through hands-on on teaching. Like they do not depend on like online, they must depend on hands-on. So the second one is from Ernest 1995. In his description of the many schools of constructivism suggests that the following implications of constructivism, which are derived from the both radical and social perspective. So now number one is sensitivity towards and attentiveness to the learner's previous constructions. Diagnostic teaching attempting to remedy learners' errors and misconceptions. Attention to metacognition and strategic self-regulation by learners. The use of multiple representations of mathematical concept. Awareness of the importance of goals for the learner and the autonomy between learner and teacher goals. Then the last one is the awareness of the importance of social context, such as the difference between folk or street mathematics and school mathematics, and an attempt to exploit the former for the latter. So for Ernest, for him the application of constructivism is more focuses on learners errors and self-improvement of the learners. And the third one is for Honabin 1996. Honabin describes 7 goals for the design of constructivist learning environments. So for Hanabin, it focuses on the goals of the learners, on what they can provide. So for the number 1 is to provide experience with the knowledge construction process, provide experience in an appreciation for multiple perspectives, embed learning in the realistic and relevant context, encourage ownership and voice in the learning process, and embed learning in social experience, encourage the use of multiple modes of representation, encourage self-awareness in the knowledge construction process. So as we can see that it's all about encouragement of the students and also providing materials to have the students experience. Yes. And the second topic about constructivist theory is illustrations from curricular subjects. So the following illustrations explains that constructivist learning method can be used across the curriculum. So in science, students in their day-to-day life do a number of activities where sound is produced. Okay, for example, students play musical instruments of different types. Some of them might have played the highest and the lowest note of a particular instrument. Students might think of how the sounds of different pitches and loudness are produced in each instrument. So in order to understand and find answers to their observation, students may do a concrete activities of the type given below. So in activity 1, so you may do this activity in your house. So I will just read the activity so that it will be more understandable for the students. Okay, so in activity 1, take an empty Coca-Cola bottle made of glass, blow across the top of the bottle, then does it make any sound? So add some water to the bottle and try again, and more water to the bottle and try again. So in my question, so in what way does the pitch change as you add more water? Okay, so in activity 2, take an empty can, run a string through a small hole in the can. You may also use a strong cardboard box. Tie a bottom of the end of the string to prevent it from coming out through the hole. And then rub rosin on the string to make the string rough. So string rough, so kanang to make it easier for you to got on the string. Yes, and you may use some other material also. Then sit on a chair and hold the box. So you hold your box between your feet. Grabs the free end of the string in your left hand. Run a match stick or iron nail off the string quickly and firmly. So does the pitch depend on the size of the box or something else? So student might observe that in the bansuri, air is set onto vibration by the lips the player opens and closes different holes in the wooden tube. And the length of the tube is modified by opening and closing different holes, and this changes the pitch. Yes. So in the bottle activity, also the pitch changes as more water is added. So if you add more water on the bottle, then the changes and then the pitch changes in a different pitch. And so in the end, student will form their own concept and validate this against the existing theories. So okay, in summary, Constructivism as a philosophy has a long history. The term constructivism is considered to be equivalent to a set of epistemological theories which are grounded in the belief that meaning is constructed in the minds of the individuals through cognitive processing of interaction in the world, and explored some important variations in this theme. So for me, constructivism shifts emphasis from teaching to learning, focuses on knowledge construction, not reproduction. It helps students develop process, skills, and attitudes. Individualize and contextualize students, like learning experiences, considered students, learning styles, uses authentic tasks to engage learners, provides for meaningful problem-based thinking, and requires negotiation of meaning, reflection of prior and new knowledge. That would be all. Thank you and God bless.